Yes. Okay. Hello guys. Welcome. I'm Ashley. If you don't know me, I'm It Girl Ash on TikTok and Twitter. And Ashley.luvd on Instagram, Ashley with 2 E's. But anyways, today I have a very exciting story to share. I've been waiting to talk about this. So a little backstory, I interview idols on a regular basis. So the second interview I ever did for Grammy.com was ENHYPEN. And it got released in early 2021. So it was like shortly after their debut. And since then, I've written about them for the Grammys. I've also interviewed them again this summer, where I actually met them via Zoom, and it was really cool. They're like one of my favorite groups I've ever met, right? So, fast forward to now. Basically, they got announced that they were going to be on a Grammy Museum. They were going to be performing and doing a live interview at the Grammy Museum for this thing called Global Spin Live that's hosted by Emily May. You guys may have heard of her. She's really cool. She's kind of like an influencer, but she hosts this thing, and they had different artists come on here like ATEEZ and Musuem, different people, right? So the event sold out in like 5 seconds. And I was already going to the first day of their tour with my press pass, but then the publicist hit me up and she's like, hey, do you want to come to this Grammy Museum event too? And because I write for the Grammys, I'm like, of course. I'm like, of course we want to go. I remember first introducing ENHYPEN to my editor back in 2020, and he was really surprised because he had never heard of them, right? And then he was really surprised at the engagement that they got when the article dropped. And it's like, the group is like super popular. So, Recording Academy follows them on Instagram. Like, they've just, been keeping track of ENHYPEN because they're always like doing big things, I guess. So when she asked me if I wanted to come to the event, I had never been to the Grammy Museum, so I'm like, of course. And boy, was I excited. And then I got another email, and she's like, do you want to meet the members beforehand? And I'm like, of course. So fast forward to the actual event. Had to get there a little early. Met up with the publicist. It was me and 2 other journalists who were invited to meet them beforehand. The other 2 were making content for, either a media publication or themselves. And I was just going to meet them. So basically, I was like, I don't want to go first because I don't like doing things first. I don't like breaking the ice. So I was like, somebody else meet them first, and then I'll go in second or whatever. So that's what we did. Somebody went first, and it was my turn. So we were like escorted to their room that they were in. They came and got me. The hostess came and got me. She brought me in. The guys are just standing there. Staff members over here. Guys are just standing there ready for me. They're like, hey, hi. And I'm like, oh my gosh, hi. And knowing me, I like to get straight to the point. So I was like, do y'all remember me? And they were like, yeah, we remember you. And they're like, Jake's like, we met through a screen. And I was like, yeah, that was like 2 months ago. And I asked them like, oh, are you guys nervous? And they're like, yeah, translators translating for members that don't speak English. They're like, yeah. And I was like, don't be nervous. You guys have so many fans outside. Like, it's really cool. And I shook hands with every single member. I know y'all are wondering, their hands are soft. I said this on TikTok, but their hands are really soft. They smell clean, smell good, obviously. Like, I know people are always asking questions like, what does the item smell like? They smell good, all of them. So we got that out of the way. They're very respectful. And then Jake's like, let's take a picture. So I'm like, yes, let's take a picture. So I hand my phone off to the publicist. And I said, okay, get in formation around me. So they all stand around me. I ended up standing in between Sunghoon and Sunwoo. So Sunwoo was on this side of me, and Sunghoon was on this side. And so we took some pictures at first, but the lighting wasn't the best. So then the publicist was like, move back a little bit. So we moved back a little bit, and we were a little bit closer together. But the pictures turned out really cute. I'm going to show you guys them. Also, you can just go to my Instagram or my TikTok, and the pictures are there as well. But yeah, we took the pictures, super cute. I was actually really curious about the heights. I'm like obsessed with height. I'm 5'10", so I'm already pretty tall. That's about 177 or 178 centimeters. I know I've measured myself in centimeters before because I used to live in Korea, so I know about the centimeters. So I know my height, but it's like I never know if idols are actually going to be as tall as they say they are on the internet. So that's what I was curious about. But when I saw them, they all looked way taller than I thought they would be. And mind you, they were all wearing like boots. Like all of the idol boys wear like these kind of big boot shoes. So they might have been a little taller than usual, but still, like they weren't short. So, and Nikki, the youngest, was the tallest. I said that I thought he was like 6'3", but it could be like 6'2". Either way, he's definitely over 6 foot. He was the tallest out of all the members. That was surprising to me. That boy is growing like crazy. But yeah, like they were all really nice. We took our pictures and I turned around, I'm like waving to them, about to say goodbye. And then Jake is like, I love your hair. And I'm like, thank you. And then I thought about it later, I'm like, I have never received any sort of compliment from an idol. I think one time I have, from one of the members of CARD, but I've never received a compliment from an idol. And I didn't realize that till after the fact. And I'm like, they are actually so nice. Like, I always have such a good experience with ENHYPEN. And I feel like people don't know, people who've never met them might not know this, but I work with a lot of idols, and I honestly like really think that they have really good personalities. They're a pretty young group, right? But they still seem very, like they know what they're doing, like they seem very well media trained, like all of that stuff. And the actual event was amazing. They performed 2 songs, Paradox Invasion and Fever. I'm really glad that Fever is getting her flowers, okay? Fever deserves her flowers. That's my favorite ENHYPEN song. So when they performed that, I was super hyped. But yeah, like it was great. We got to sit in the front row. All of our +1s, the journalist people, our +1s were able to go into the theater first and save us front row seats. So that was dope. So we got a great first view of everything that was going on. The event was short and sweet, but there was a lot of stuff happening. Fire alarms went off. A lot of people screaming from the audience, which is to be expected. Not the fire alarms, but you know what I mean. There's always chaos, right? But yeah, like overall the event was really great. Kept you at the edge of your seat. It was always something fun happening, something exciting happening. I was just really happy because I started doing journalism during the pandemic. I haven't had a lot of experiences meeting idols in person. So this might be my second, because obviously my first time meeting an idol and interviewing them in person was J-Hope. This wasn't an interview, but I don't care. It was still a really cool experience. And for me, I'm like not married to the interview thing. I really like just interacting with people and getting to know them. I feel like when you do it in person, it just feels different than it does through a computer. So I'm really glad that we got that opportunity to do that, because y'all know I really rock with ENHYPEN. And it's been really cool seeing their success since they debuted, because I feel like most groups that I've gotten into or known about, I got into them after they debuted. So to see them grow like this has been really interesting, and be able to cover them throughout this, and even just being able to encourage them before they perform at the Grammy Museum. Like, that's a cool experience. I know a lot of Engenes follow me now because of the articles I've done and stuff like that. So really thank you for supporting. And yeah, like, sometimes it's hard working with idols, and like, it could be stressful. Like, even before I went in there, I remember I was telling the other journalists, I'm like, I'm the kind of nervous. I always get nervous before it, and then when I get in there, nervousness snaps off. It happens all the time for me. But I like to psych myself out before to make it more exciting. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason, but that's just how it goes. So yeah, I was really, really happy that it worked out. I was really, really happy that we were able to make this happen, that the in-person meeting, check. And now I have a picture with a K-pop group. That's pretty cool, right? So yeah, guys, there's no article for you to read this time, but I have content that I posted about it on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok, so you guys can check that out. And I'm really looking forward to more experiences in person. That's really like where I want to go now. It's not about like breaking records for me or like doing anything big. I just want to be able to have that human contact more in the future. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions about anything that I didn't cover, because I'm sure there's something I didn't cover, you can just shoot me a DM on Instagram or something, and I can probably try to get to your question at some point. But yeah, I just wanted to like do a basic overview of how the event went and how the experience ended up happening, because I know a lot of people were like, who is this girl? Like, why does she have a picture with ENHYPEN? Like, all of these things. So I just wanted to clear the air. Like, I had met them before via Zoom. I had worked with them in the past. I did have a relationship with their team, so like it wasn't just like a random, like, hey, random person, come meet them, like it was like an established thing already. So I'm really just thankful, and I hope to have more experiences like this in the future. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on all my socials, which will be linked below, and stay tuned for more. Bye.